Well, lots of good news coming in from Arsenal, as we know that the first bid of Kai Havertz was submitted on Friday and it was rejected by Chelsea, but Arsenal are not really taking off the foot of the pedal. They are not putting their hand onto the handbrake. They are onto what we call escalating talks between them and Chelsea. Smash the like button, comment and share. If you're watching us for the very first time, endeavor to subscribe to this channel so as not to miss out on stories that we do upload in here on a daily. And we are discussing Martin Odegaard for the very first time before they went ahead to be beaten by Scotland by 2-1. Yesterday, he had what we call a very huge conversation about his future, a new contract at Arsenal. And lastly, you guys should be excited about Jakub Kiwior. He has gone ahead to really come out and obviously take us to the next level, and he's doing the best that we did that he's doing the best that he deserves as a player of Arsenal. And guess what, he's really shining at the Polish national team, and I think Mikel Arteta made a very wise choice of a signing, and it shows you the scouting team of Arsenal and how far they've gone ahead to show that they are really the big they show that they're really having big wing spread all over Europe to make the right scouting of players. RD Rokani David is my name. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter at Rokani Media FB, where some other news is really put up there that we can go ahead and be broadcast onto this channel. And guys, let's set off and really roll like never before. It's Ray Nelson Taylor, obviously. He's a journalist that works for the Daily Express. He has told us that talks ongoing between Arsenal and Chelsea for Kai Havertz. Sources not commenting on numbers behind first bid, but two clubs not believed to be miles apart in valuation. Crystal Palace and Inter Milan latest sides to show interest in Folarin Balogun. Now, we are talking Kai Havertz into this story. So when you look at Kai Havertz, he's a player that Mikel Arteta has gone ahead to show a lot of interest in and wants to sign him. And I think as Mikel Arteta also wants to sign the player, there is also the interest of Edu, because Kai Havertz was one of those players that Edu really wanted to sign way back when he had just come in at Arsenal, and Chelsea came in through with a lot of money, and they paid £71 million to Bayern Leverkusen to get Kai Havertz. By then, Kai Havertz was one of the hottest assets on the world market as far as football is really concerned, and he really had a very good delivery from from his talent in Germany. So after signing for Chelsea, Arsenal have shown huge interest because Chelsea look like they are no longer in need of his services and they want him out. Not because that he's not a good player, but because the players themselves, him and Mason Mount, believe that it's time for them to call it quits. And Chelsea need to sell players to balance up their financial fair play rule. So, Arsenal and Kai Havertz talks are really escalating. And the beauty of all this story, the best line is, according to me, if at all you're an Arsenal fan, this is the line you'd like to hear, that sources not commenting on numbers behind first bid, but two clubs not believed to be miles apart. So if the two clubs are believed not to be miles apart, do you know what that means? Two clubs not miles apart. So that means that it's just a small difference that has seen Arsenal and Chelsea not agree onto the first bid, and shows you that Arsenal might do this deal first than the deal of Declan Rice. As for the deal of Declan Rice, West Ham are wanting between £100 million to £120 million. You know, that's why Arsenal has taken some good time to structure the deal of Declan Rice. But for Kai Havertz, it looks like they're going to have an agreement with Chelsea as up. So that is a very huge futuristic hope that Arsenal fans are really having, because even if you really believe that Kai Havertz is not a player that Arsenal needs, you would love to be having a player like him on your bench. Even if you believe that he's not a starter, he's an addition, an improvement onto the bench of Arsenal. And this summer should be all about building the bench of Arsenal. Last summer, it was all about Arsenal building the first 11, though they went ahead to add in more players that you believe can go into the first team, especially in the January transfer window. Jorginho can go into that first team. Trossard can. And Jakub Kiwior is going to hate to show to it that he can also come and fit into that first team of Arsenal. So, after adding in Jorginho, Trossard, and Jakub Kiwior in the January transfer window, and adding on Jesus, Zinchenko into the summer transfer window, not forgetting Fabio Vieira, Marquinhos, and Matana, but those three have not been really so much pivotal for the season of Arsenal. It shows you that this season they are going to add on players that can come directly into the starting 11 of Arsenal, right? But can also come out and obviously come off the bench and make the bench of Arsenal stronger. That's what Mikel Arteta is really doing for Kai Havertz, and that's their aim with Edu. Then again, Rainer Taylor Sport told us that Chelsea are willing to accept considerably lower than 70/75 million pounds valuation for Kai Havertz. Talks have been moving smoothly between the two parties, and Arsenal are expected to submit an improved bid in due course. So, the improved bid of Kai Havertz, it's on, and I think we're going to do that story independently and we tell you what Arsenal is planning to do. But obviously, it's not that evaluation that is putting these two clubs apart. These two clubs are all in, and they're in one direction, so that they get the deal out of the way. That is the deal of Kai Havertz. Talking of Balogun, Crystal Palace and Inter Milan are the latest suitors to join into the admiration of Balogun. Trust me, I brought you a story yesterday, coming in from a credible source, that Arsenal are willing to really offload Balogun because they feel like they cannot offer him first team football. Why offload him? It is simple. Arteta believes that he can get some good money out of Folarin Balogun, like 40 to 15 million pounds. The most speciality of this deal is Arsenal will include a buyback clause. If at all he goes ahead to fire all cylinders, then he will be one of those. And I think Balogun would love to play in the Premier League. That's it. I think unless otherwise these Premier League teams cannot go all out and obviously offer the amount of money that Arsenal wants, but Balogun would like to come and play into the Premier League. When you look at Crystal Palace, Mateta is being wanted by Everton, and I think he's going to go that side, meaning that they'll be left with only Eduardo as an ideal centre forward to lead their line. That has put them into the thoughts to see to it that they really get in Balogun. And when you look at a team like Crystal Palace, when Arsenal is selling to teams like Crystal Palace, they can sell Balogun at like 30 million pounds, and they tell them that there is a buyback clause, and every time you're going to sell, you have to first inquire from us. That's what Arsenal are really going to do on this deal of Balogun. Now, when you look at Inter Milan are really having a very bad situation as far as the centre forward situation is really concerned. They are losing Edin Dzeko. He's negotiating a deal to go away and play in Turkey. Is it Galatasaray or it's Galatasaray or Fenerbahce? One of those teams interested in him, and he's moving as a free agent. Romelu Lukaku has been on loan from Chelsea and is expected to be called back by Chelsea. So they are into a mix of really losing him also. And Lautaro Martinez is also trying to push for move out of the Serie A, provided a Premier League team comes in through that plays in the Champions League. He's willing to put himself onto the market. So they'll be left with no centre forward. That's why they've joined the rest or the queue to sign Folarin Balogun. But this is good news for Arsenal, because if you're having a player like him, 21 years of age, and suitors are increasing day in, day out, then it shows you how much money you can make. Because if a bidding war happens, a club almost benefits. The selling club benefits us. They'll always sit down there and say, all right, who is getting us the amount of money that we want? and that is it. So that is the story about Balogun. 2 more teams are in for him because we knew AC Milan that wanted him most, but this time around some other 2 teams are in for Balogun. Martin Odegaard, before they lost 2-1 to Scotland, and they are the first team to score, by the way, but Scotland leveled and obviously made it count for the second time, and the game ended 2-1, but it was Haaland who first scored a penalty. Odegaard, on recent reports of a new Arsenal contract, he said, "I have not spoken to them. That is not my task, to be honest. I don't know how the situation is right now. I have a few years left onto the contract. I'm fine and hope to be at the club for a very long time to come." So, obviously, Odegaard has to go ahead and really say that on his contract at Arsenal. Ever since he started playing professional football at the age of 16, way back in Dutch football, Real Madrid bought him, loaned him to, is it Vitesse in Netherlands. He brought him back to Sociedad, back to Madrid, then back to Arsenal. This is the only loan spell. This is the only spell of his football that we've seen Martin Odegaard show us some of what he's made about. And for us who really know about him, we know that he still has a lot more left in his tanker. That's it. He still has a lot more left in his tank. And if at all there is anything he wants, it's to be at Arsenal. Arteta saw the talent in him as a leader. He gave him the captaincy of the club, and he has gone ahead to really look like so. And he has the true characters of a leader, that he lifts up the team, though sometimes it was too heavy for his shoulders because of the pressure and the job ahead of Arsenal. But I understand he is a very, very good player, and he wants to stay at Arsenal, and he wants to stay at Arsenal as long as he wants. Arsenal put a clause into the contract of Martin Odegaard that after 2 seasons at Arsenal, if at all you go ahead and really play very well, we are going to increase your salary, you know, and obviously add more 2 years onto your contract. And the improvement is really going to be tackled onto a lot, and I think it's not going to be something hard for Martin Odegaard to discuss, and it's all going to be about money, I think he's going to be one of those players that is going to be into that ilk of earning between £180,000 a week to £200,000 a week, because I don't see Gabriel Martinelli earning more than Martin Odegaard. Odegaard has to be earning more money as he is really the best player at the club. That's it. He's really the best player at the club. That's why you saw to it that the likes of William Saliba told the board before they reached an agreement that don't go ahead and do things that are not in line. You should come out and really offer me money that is worth me, because if you're giving Bukayo Saka close to £300,000 a week, what makes you think that Saliba is not worth that amount of money, yet I've gone ahead to have a much more better season than Bukayo Saka? So that has been the negotiation. So I think Odegaard, being the captain of the club, I think the team will respect him a lot, as it's hard to get a central attacking midfielder like him. That's it. He is really good. And the coming in of Kai Havertz, Declan Rice, at Arsenal is going to make him a much more better player at that team, because he is really a different breed of player. And we all know that quality complements quality. That's it. The more quality that's being added to Arsenal, the more you're going to see a Martin Odegaard splashing more from his tank of talent. Lastly, let's do Jakub Kiwior, who really went ahead to really destroy Germany. Jakub Kiwior scored his first ever international goal and helped keep a clean sheet as Poland beat Germany by 1-0 in a 1-0 friendly in Warsaw. So Jakub Kiwior has gone ahead to show to it that he's the reason as to why Mikel Arteta went ahead and obviously signed him, and that is the photo when he was really doing the celebration, and you can as well see him, shirt number 14, that is Jakub Kiwior scoring a goal. And remember, he was on the score sheet for the very first time as Arsenal beat Wolverhampton Wanderers in the season opener at Emirates by 5-0. He scored in the, meaning that Arsenal have gotten themselves a defender who can also add more goals, in set pieces and in open play. That is the beauty of this guy. And I see him as one of those who's going to come in through and really give Gabriel Magalhaes a very hard time when it comes to playing into that position of the left side of the center back. Pre-season is going to come in. Jakub Kiwior is going to be one of those that is going to show us his qualities more and more in the pre-season. And Mikel Arteta is going to be having a huge headache at the beginning of the season to choose who is going to be played as a left-sided centre-back into his team. So guys, your thoughts on Kai Havertz to Arsenal? Talks escalate, and obviously what do you make about Odegaard's plan to stay at Arsenal and Jakub Kiwior, on target again when he was playing for Poland? Good morning. May the living true God protect you abundantly. I cover you all in the precious blood of Jesus Christ, and my Muslim friends, may Allah do the same. Ciao, ciao.